For Okamoto in Los Angeles, gearing up for UFC 311 here with former champion Jamahal Hill, who takes on another former champion in Jiri Prochazka in a fight that I feel like Jamahal has been waiting for since he was a young boy, it seems like, man. This is the fight that you have had on your radar for about as long as I can remember. What is the first time, do you think, that you really started to think, like, Jiri Prochazka, I got to share the octagon with that guy?
I think it was after his UFC debut, the Volkan Oezdemir fight. It was a great fight. He came out and made a very loud and impressive arrival. So from then it was like, oh yeah, I want to fight this guy.
You watching that from home? You think you just watched it on TV,
Yeah.
his debut?
Yeah, I think that it was during COVID, so nobody was really in the building at the time. But yeah, 100% I was watching, I was tuned in, and I was excited when I seen it.
And what exactly was it? Was it just the fact that man, this guy's good, or like this guy just has a fun style? Like, was it style based, or was it just like you recognized how good he was?
It was all of that. It was all of that. Recognizing he's good. He's a challenge, and I've always wanted to just test myself against greatness. That's just what gets me up for this. What keeps me excited and keeps me hungry in this is just seeing new and great fighters, different styles, different puzzles to solve. So it was definitely a puzzle that I wanted.
How was it going through preparations, going through camp, and now here in a fight week for a fight that you have waited literally years for? Is there a different feeling to it?
Oh yeah, it's great. It's been a great feeling. It's been a great experience. It's been a great camp. It's pushed me. It's motivated me. I've been game, bro. I've been game. I've been locked in, and I'm ready to go.
I heard, obviously, you've talked about this fight for years.
Yeah.
One of the ways I heard you describe it is that it's just going to be chaos. Like he likes to live and breathe in chaos, and I'm sort of the same way. Can you expand on that? Like, what are you actually expecting the fight to look like? Like that free flowing chaos that you mentioned, and ultimately in a fight like that, what does it come down to? What will the result come down to?
Well, I mean, I like the fact that he just comes with a bunch of things that you wouldn't be expected. Like I said, I like to challenge myself. I like to make adjustments. Being able to make those adjustments show my prestige, show my fight IQ and those things inside the octagon. And I'm expecting that. I'm expecting fireworks, but I'm also expecting to come in and assert myself and show my dominance on that. It doesn't matter who's across from me. I'm that guy.
Fight IQ really matters in a fight like this, right? Where you do got to make reads and you do got to feel what your opponent is kind of confident in throwing and what he's trying to set up in there. Is that right? Like, is this going to be a fight where you're using your brain quite a bit? Would you say?
Yeah, I use my brain in every fight, But this is the one that some different challenges, some new things and adjustments might pop up in there. We're both coming from some adversity, so. He's gonna make adjustments. He's gonna be a little bit more on point to try to make sure that he's transformed and evolved as a fighter. So yeah, I'm just happy to just go in there and try to see what comes and then see how I handle it.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that I think some of us on the outside talk about, and it's like, obviously every fight is so important. Every fight you're trying to be as prepared as much as possible, but you bring it up, and it had crossed my mind that I think you're both very hungry in this one, right? Just because of the circumstances coming in. In that way, was it sort of the best time for this fight to come together in your mind?
Yeah, well, I mean, ideally the time would have been, if I could have picked, it would have been I wouldn't have gotten injured, and then he would have came back, and then we would have came in and I would have had our thing from there. But yeah, it's as good as time. It's as good as time as any. Both of us coming back, needing to get back in the win column and keep progressing from there to try to make that push back up to the top of the rankings. I mean, I actually, in this position, I'd rather it be a former champion and somebody that's been at the top of the division rather than kind of a new guy right now.
Yeah,
it's just for the simple fact of I like still being in those big moments and those big fights, and I believe this is a big fight. I believe this is the people's main event.
Mm-hmm. Can I ask you about something that is not particular to this fight, and it goes back to you describing that. He likes to be in chaos. You like to be in chaos. You once said in an interview that you grew up having street fights, and one thing you mentioned is that sometimes it was 1-on-4, 1-on-8, 1-on-12. I mean, you want to talk about chaotic situations,
yeah.
But then you didn't really talk about it much, at least not in the interview I saw. Can you tell me some of those stories about, like, what do you mean you're taking on 1-on-12 in Grand Rapids, Michigan. How does that happen?
I mean, it happens playing basketball for money. Playing basketball for money. Guys feel like they have more friends there than I had. I was kind of rolling by myself. And they felt like, they didn't have to pay me, and I was just going to, like, kind of back down from it, and that wasn't the case. They found out why that wasn't the case. The situation didn't turn out too well for them.
That mindset of you being like, pay me my money, and you willing to take on anybody on a basketball court, is it the same feeling when you walk into an octagon facing a world-class guy in front of thousands of people, or is it a different feeling? Are the two very separate?
Oh, I mean, for me, it's a little bit more different because it's not so many punches to avoid. It's not so many punches, not so many people swinging at you, and then it's just one-on-one. I've been in some situations where it's gotten out of hand, like really out of hand, and gotten particularly dangerous. But this is just mano a mano. His corners can't come in and help him fight. It's just me versus him. So for me, that's a way better deal. And we're fighting for a lot more money.
That's an easy one. Yeah.
We're fighting for a lot more money than we were back then.
Yep.
Than I was back then.
Last thing for you on Jiri, was he the most? You said that it helped you in camp and it helped you because you were so motivated.
Yeah.
Just was he the most difficult one to prepare for though, in terms of just trying to figure out exactly what you got to be on the lookout for?
No, not at all. It's because I'm aware of what my opponent will bring into the cage, but ultimately it's a battle with myself to make sure that I'm ready to make those adjustments, make sure I'm ready to impose my will and impose the fight and control the fight the way that I want. Yeah. I'm always looking to be dominant. That's the thing I've always staked my career on, is coming in and putting on dominant performances, and that just doesn't change from fighter to fighter. That's for everybody.
Yeah. Well, this card is absolutely stacked to begin the year, but I don't disagree with you, man. People's main event, I'm going to be very, very curious and very much in my seat anticipating this fight when it comes on Saturday. Thank you for the time. Best of luck.
Thank you. Appreciate it.